this garden is lovely, but it's just not quite working. The colours, I love the colours, really happy with that. We want to put lots more planting in. We've got masses and masses of bark chippings everywhere, and that was just to suppress the weeds. But we want to revisit this and put in a lot more planting. But before we do, we were just questioning how it's working, and we just feel that it's quite boring really, because as you stand here you can see the entirety of the garden throughout, so there's no reason to take that journey to go down the path to walk right to the end, because you can see it all here. So what we want to do is try and create a little bit more interest. When we set out to design this garden, we intended it to be an area of interest in winter. So we have put in a lot of plants that look fantastic in the winter, like the dogwoods, like the lovely bark of the Acer griseum and the catalpa profusion with its beautiful purple berries. And we've even got some winter box. So all these plants were chosen with that in mind. They've got long seasons of interest. But the actual design of the planting just isn't quite right. We've put the trees in, and in my bids to try and get them planted in the right place, I think I made a mistake and was overly cautious and pushed them back too far. I wanted to give them enough room to grow, but in actual fact what we've ended up with is curving pathways that are going round nothing. There's nothing there, whereas it's better to have a tree and the paths curving around that tree. So we want to revisit this. I think as well, because the garden is very flat, and that's an advantage in the rest of the garden, which is very formal. In this part of the garden, which we want it to be more informal, it doesn't work quite so well. So we're thinking about making some swales and some berms to create not just visual interest, but also little pockets where we've got different climates and different shaded areas, sheltered areas, things like that, but just generally be more interesting. We visited a beautiful garden, Hyde Hall, which is in Essex. We visited in the autumn, last autumn actually I think it was. I did do a video and you can have a look at that because it's really lovely. And we loved their winter garden. They had this beautiful winter garden, and what was lovely about it was that the planting, you walked through this path and the paths were kind of, the beds were kind of banked up on the sides, so you felt really close up to the plants. You could really see the plants. And we find that when we put the plants in on this planter, they look incredible. They look so much more impactful up high on a higher level. And so it got us thinking that that would probably work in this area too. So let's just have a little walk around and talk as we go. So when Olivia was home, we were having a little chat about why this area isn't working so well. It's very flat, and because of that, as I say, you can just see everything. So by raising up the borders, making them higher, you'd get up close to these plants and you'll get to see them in much more detail. And that worked really well over here in this raised planter. The other issue is that we've got an abundance of soil because we're going to be doing the work on the other garden where the pond is, and we're going to be digging up a lot more soil, and so we need somewhere to put it. And so the two things, it's almost kind of meant to be. We've got soil, and so we're going to have a look at berms and swales and how they could make this area look more interesting by creating not just visually looking good, but also creating little mini microclimates within this garden. And that's really good because it's a very windy garden, so if we can create little zones and little pockets within the planting, I think that would be really nice. So this area is very much a work in progress. We have got a seat in there, which is all that area is going to be deleted. It's just not working at all, and we will come back to that. But that for now isn't our priority. We've got a digger on hire tomorrow. The main reason for that is to get the pond dug out, all the soil and the grass lifted there, and we're going to have masses and masses of turf and soil. We've got a big pile of soil by the compost heap, so we can really play about and have fun using that and creating these swales and berms and see how it works. Don't really know how it's going to work. We're just having a go. So if you want to join us, then come along and we'll play about together and see what happens. Okay, let me just explain what's going on behind me. So let's flip the camera. Many of you will be in horror asking what the heck are we doing to our garden, which was looking lovely. But as I explained, this is just in a bid to get it to the next level of perfection, hopefully. This is very risky what we're doing. This is a tree, Acer Grisium, a beautiful tree, actually one of my favourite trees of all. We've had this now for, we're trying to think, I said about 4 years, and Alistair said no, it was before COVID we planted this. So it's probably been in 6 years, something like that, 7 years maybe. It's not ideal moving a tree of this maturity. We bought it very small, very cheap at the time, and we've brought it on. But while we're moving it, and it seems ridiculous, we're literally moving it to where that hole is in front. It's just too far back. Oh God, yeah, I might have to go. No pressure, Al, but don't whatever you do hurt my lovely tree. Oh, lovely. Good job, good job. Oh, wow. Well done. Well done. Lovely.
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 That's lovely. That's perfect. I didn't want you to run into it.
Yeah, yeah.
I know.
Sorry, it's just
I wanted to just control it.
instinct just to grab.
No, yeah, it's fine. So it's obviously I've dug it lower to move it.
Yeah.
I've got to put the soil back in now to lift.
Okay. That went incredibly well, really, really well. So the tree has come away with minimal damage. It's not a taproot or anything like that. A couple of roots got a little bit broken, but on the whole, it's been fine. It's come out beautifully. I think we've got away with it because we're on this sandy soil. It's fairly easy to dig things up in sand. I think we would have struggled if it had been clay. But Al's gone off to get some straps or strocks, are they called strocks? And he's going to put them under the root because although it doesn't look very heavy, it's really heavy. So we'll lift it again on the straps and then we'll put it into position, bringing it forward, and you can already see how good that looks just having it near the path. You can appreciate the bark much more, and the sunlight on the bark just looks incredible. It was just too near. This catalpa profusion, it just was lost, you just didn't see it. So this is going to look much, much better. Here we are, the straps or strops are on. I don't really know what Al's doing. He knows what he's doing. That's all that matters. We did this before when we did Olivia's garden for the Tat and Flower show. We lifted the tree using this technique and it worked very well. If only you'd gone to the Boy Scouts, you would know a few knots. As tempting as it is, but if you see a tree falling, it's tempting to grab it, but I'm to keep out of the way. Oh, I don't know. Oh, wow. Where are you going? Oh, I didn't know we were doing that. So Al's just putting the soil back in just to get it at the right height. And then I will put some mycorrhizal fungi around the roots of the tree. I've done a little bit, but when it's in the air, I'll do the bottom. Just wrapping, I just put my jumper around the bark just to protect it. A little bit of the bark got scratched, so we'll just protect it, and I'll put a bit of cloth over the sort of sharp bits of the digger. So the soil, we've refilled the hole, hopefully to about the level. Okay, I've got you on the tripod. I feel a bit nervous. Okay.
I'll hold it over, right?
Yeah.
If it's about the right height, fine. If it's too low, backfill a little bit of this into it, right?
Yeah.
But just keep eye contact with me,
Yeah.
right? Because then you know,
Yeah.
like, if I do one move, I could kill you.
Yeah.
That's the thing, so you've got to be careful with
Yeah.
it, right? Don't worry about it not being the right side.
Okay.
Turn it once I've got out of the way,
Okay.
right? Because it's quite light for that.
Yeah.
So don't worry about, I want that branch there. Don't panic about it.
Okay.
I just want to
Just
get
the height,
right,
yeah. Okay. Oh, we haven't put the straps on. We didn't put the straps on. We forgot to put the straps on. I was like looking and thinking, I can't see the straps.
You know, I thought there's loads of excess there. I didn't have this much excess before.
I was looking and thinking, I can't see the straps. And
yeah, I think someone wound it off of it, didn't they?
yeah.
It was a safe lift. That was just a dress rehearsal.
I didn't damage it.
No trees were damaged in the lifting of this.
It's the nerves. Right, here goes. Power up. Hang on, that slipper that's not attached. That's not attached.
Oh, that one's not in it.
No.
Yeah, this isn't working either. That's too low.
What's too low?
I'm going to hit this part of the branch.
Oh, right, yeah.
See, it's too low. It's not going to do
Okay.
down there.
Yeah.
It's this that does the damage.
Okay. Change of plan. We're going to just try and roll it in. You just pretended to do that.
Drama. Tune into that. People tune in to see my bum.
Okay, let's just get rid of these shit. Come on then, it's working. Roll. Are you helping?
I want to see you do it.
No, it's not moving. Oh, it seems to be working now. Oh yeah, boogie.
You've got about the right height now.
Yeah, perfect.
Right, which side? Go
Oh
out
yeah.
there.
So, turn it round that way. Is that the which is the branch that we wanted? Yeah, it's this one, isn't it? Yeah, it's this one.
Got that to the back though. That's quite low, isn't it?
I want this to be, it's obscuring the view. I want this to, so slightly, it's not far off.
Okay. What are you doing?
I'm going to rock
I'm
it.
pushing this way. You're pushing that, which is on.
It's like a comedy. That's it, that's it, that's it, that's it. Yes. Yes.
Do you want any
Yeah,
more
well,
like
come and have a look, come and have a look. Or maybe we've gone too far now. Maybe it just needs to be like here, like there.
Well, do you want to try one of these lower ones?
What lower ones?
Sorry, that's a lower one. Do you want to try the other ones?
No, I think the lower one looks good. Because look, but I just thought, should it be just like there?
Okay.
Do you think? What?
Yeah.
No, but it was over here. You just went a bit too far.
You want it that way going?
A tiny bit, like, yeah, that's it. Like that. What do we think? So you come in here, yeah, that's better. So thinking that that looks fantastic. So in the future, this branch will come out. If it gets too much, then this one can come out because there's a nice strong one there, but we can play around with that. But we do want that slight hidden view. So a little bit of mycorrhizal. Tree is in now the perfect position. That looks so much better, and you can really appreciate the tree now. Before it was just tucked away behind that catalpa. You can appreciate the two together. So Al's just pushing the soil back over again. On Saturday, just a few days ago, it absolutely chucked it down with rain. We had 5 centimetres of rain in just one day. And so, although I was miffed at the time, wanted to get on with jobs, it actually, with benefit of hindsight, has been brilliant. And it's now the perfect time to do this work and to move these trees. So much easier with moist soil. I think it's time for lunch. And so after a nice sit down and lunch, we were good to go again. So Murphy and I just really sat and had a cuddle while Alistair did most of the work. But we had a nice time, and Murphy watched Alistair and I, as he always did, just getting up to all these crazy things. And he looked on in his wise, knowing way, thinking, there they go again. But mostly I just sat and stroked Murphy. It was lovely. We sat in the sunshine and it was absolutely perfect, and this is a really treasured memory for me. So work continued in a similar ilk, moving the trees that we wanted to get moved. Very impressed with Alistair's digger skills. So he's really delicate using the digger. This is what happens when you put a gardener in charge of a digger. He's so careful the way he can go around all the trees and the branches so delicately. If you're wondering, have I had to go with a digger? Yes, I have, and the results were not particularly good. I'm completely out of control and I don't trust myself. So I didn't really pursue this. I've left it to him because he's been using it for quite some time. He is getting really, really good at it now. We had a really lovely special day, full of memories and good fun. We always have a laugh doing things, but I think we did get better as time went on. What an absolutely glorious day, blue sky and sunshine, a lovely time to be off and to be enjoying the garden. So let's just reflect on all the changes that we made yesterday. We had a really busy, tiring day yesterday in the garden, but we've made those changes that we wanted to. We've got much more to do, which I'll tell you about at the end. But for now, it was just all about focusing on moving the trees that weren't positioned correctly. So I tried really hard when I designed this garden to get it right, to do it all on paper and to try and do it right first time. And we put the trees in, but then when we stepped back and we've lived with them for a year, and there were just some changes that we wanted to make, some things that just weren't quite working. So as I said previously, love all the colours, absolutely spot on, and love all the tree choices. The trees are all performing well and absolutely lovely. But what wasn't quite right was the positioning. So let's just talk about each of the trees and why we've moved them. So the first one is this one. This is Acer Griseum. And this one was the most risky to move because it's been in the longest. It's been in at least 6 years, maybe 7 years, can't quite remember. But we hadn't, none of this garden existed. This was just a field before. But we started cutting out this path as part of the other parts of the garden, and the path just sort of ended here. So I really wanted an Acer Griseum for a long time. So I bought it a bit prematurely. We weren't really ready to do this area yet, but I thought, well, if we get it in, it can be establishing. So I planted it. And the beech hedge wasn't very well established at that time. So I planted it very small and pushed it towards the beech hedge. But it just wasn't in the right place. The catalpa that I put in at the same time has got bigger, and it was just tucked in behind the catalpa, and you couldn't appreciate the lovely bark, and that's why we're growing it, the lovely chocolate peeling bark. So it was hidden away. So just by bringing it out, not very much, we just brought it out by about 1.5 meters, seemed a lot of trouble just to move it a tiny little bit. but it has made all the difference. So we've got this this branch just coming out here, just arching over the path, and what that means is when you're coming around the corner you can't quite see into this garden, and as it gets bigger that will be more so, and it creates that feeling of sort of intrigue and wonderment. I wonder what lies beyond, and that's the whole point of moving these trees. One thing I just wanted to say, I'm just under the Acer Griseum now, and when I was digging it up, it was apparent that the tree was put in a bit too deep. So this is something that I wasn't that aware of when I was in the early years of gardening, not to plant things too deep. And it's important because you see the way the trunk just flares out. This is called the root flare. And it's important that that must sit proud of the ground, it mustn't be too deep. So actually digging this up and replanting it is probably a good thing, because it was planted up to here. You can just see where the bark looks different. It was quite wet, the soil was up to here. So it's really important to plant a little bit on the high side. This is especially true if you're on clay soil, because it will definitely rot the tree. Probably get away with a little bit more because we're on sand, but even so, it's not a good idea. So we've got this curving, meandering path, but it didn't make sense having a curving, meandering path that doesn't meander around anything. You know, most people want to go in a straight line to their destination, so you have to have a reason for the path to bend and give that slow journey through. So we've got the path now curving round the tree, which makes more sense. We've done it again with the next tree. So this is Indian bean tree, or catalpa. And again, we've brought that forward, not by much, just by a little bit. And another tree that I bought very tiny, but it grows so quickly. And these beautiful, great big palm-sized leaves look incredible. And it's got the yellow foliage. And then behind it in the raised planter, we've got the Crataegus persimilis prunifolia, which is the cockspur hawthorn. And you can see it's got these bright fiery red leaves, which look really good with the yellow of the catalpa. And I think this trio of trees work really well together. So the red bark reflected in the red of the leaves, and then the contrasting yellow leaves, I think those three work particularly well. And by bringing that catalpa forward, it also lets you see the spindle tree behind, Euonymus europaeus red cascade, which just sits to the right of that, and that is going to turn red as well. So I think it's just looking good. We have moved another couple of trees, so let's go up there and I'll show you. So the next tree that we've moved is the Cornus cusa China Girl. Again, it was planted quite far back, and we want this branch to arch over the path. So that was just a minor adjustment. Now we have, you'll see, removed all the other plants that were here. And the idea here is that we're going to be creating mounds of earth, and then we're going to have planting at different heights. I think this is really exciting. I'm really starting to be able to visualize it now. I do struggle to visualize things. I find it quite difficult. Alistair seems much more able to imagine things than I do. I have to, I just struggle with that really. But that's going to look good. The arbutus there behind, we didn't move that. That stayed as it is, and that's lovely. It's got that, there's just some other plants sitting underneath it, but it's got the nice multi-stem appearance. And look at the little, the fruits on here. It's covered in bees, and look at we've got our first strawberry tree, it's called, its common name. Now this area had the Heptacodium mycinoides, which was there, and the trouble with it was, as it was growing up, it was competing with the Lelandii hedge behind, and its very fibrous roots coming through from the Lelandii, which you can see, and I just didn't feel it wasn't really thriving. It was looking okay, but not thriving. And then also it has that lime tree which is on the drive behind it, so you couldn't really see the tree because it seemed to be a bit lost with the green backdrop of the hedge. So we've moved it here, and it's a lovely tree. This is Heptacodium mycinoides, an unusual tree that not many people have heard of. What's good about it is that it flowers in the autumn, which is quite unusual. Most trees tend to flower in the spring, but this is lovely. It's just out now. So again, a bit risky moving it at this time. We perhaps should have done it in dormancy, but just circumstances meant that we needed to do it now, really. The other advantage of seeing everything in leaf and moving it in leaf is that we can position it, because when it's bare, it's quite difficult to know which is the right way round, the way you want it to be. So having it, we know which way we wanted it to face. So we've put that in there. Now what was in here was the forest pansy, the Cercis canadensis forest pansy, the eastern redbud. That was just struggling. The leaves had all fallen off it. It didn't like the wind. It's quite a windy site here. So we've moved that, and I'll show you where we've put that. So again, we're going to play around here with the levels. We're going to bank up the soil here, and then by doing that we'll create a division between the garden and that trellis, and we don't want to be able to see especially the lower part of the trellis. Anyway, that's for another time, but that's where we're at, and this is what it looks like this way. So I know it doesn't look much, but just those changes have just transformed this garden. Actually, it's going to look a lot better. I hope you like the changes that we've made as much as me. I hope you don't think we're absolutely insane. I might be getting lots of comments saying we shouldn't be moving trees at this time, but I just felt that we just needed to do it. It's kind of now or never. We can't be doing it in the mud and the rain and the winter. The soil is still warm. My theory is that they can put their roots down a little bit and grow on a little bit before that harsh weather comes. So that's my theory. Hope it works out. So if you like what we do, if you like our crazy antics and want to join us, then come along, join us in the next video. I don't know where it will be. We might be back in here again doing the levels, or we might be over there doing the levels over there. But either way, we've got masses and masses and masses going on, or we might be somewhere else, who knows? But there's always something going on here, and there's certainly no shortage of footage. So join me in the next video. Bye for now.